Well, a jam-packed weekend of games were highlighted by several individual performances that helped catapult their teams to victory. So, CC, the best performance from Sunday was blank.
I think it's easy to go with Mitch Trubusky there in Chicago with 6 touchdowns. Like, how many times are you going to do that in your career? But I'm going to go with Ezekiel Elliott. They had to have it, not only the productivity running, but out of the backfield, catching the ball deep down the sideline. Tremendous game by Zeke. I'm going with Zeke.
Well, I think it's easy to go with Zeke. I'm going Mitch Trubisky, 6 touchdowns. This was a career day for Mitch, a day that a lot of us thought, at least I thought, I didn't know that he had this type of day in him. Now we'll see if he can build on this success, but an overwhelming performance by the Bears offense to go along with the defense that's been great. I'm going to go with Mitch Trubisky.
All right, 4 rookie quarterbacks got the start on Sunday, with all 4 of them walking off the field with losses. But we will pick the best of the young guns. Nick, the best rookie quarterback Sunday was blank.
I understand it might sound odd with 4 turnovers, but I say Baker Mayfield. Josh Rosen was fine in his first start. Darnold was not good. Josh Allen was horrible. Baker made some big-time throws throughout this football game, and his team did score 42 points. So despite the turnovers, Baker Mayfield's my answer.
Baker Mayfield looks like a star. He didn't look like a rookie, even though you did have the mistakes. Like, he looks like a star. The game is not too big for him. And you can see by the way he throws the ball aggressively down the field, the other quarterbacks aren't even in the same class as far as Baker right now throwing the football.
All right, moving on with 4 Sundays in the books. Some teams have jumped out to a hot start and have surprised us while sitting atop their divisions. Chris, the biggest surprise team through week 4 is blank.
You got to go with the Bears. Not only their offensive productivity, but, man, they traded for Khalil Mack. Like, no one expected the Bears to be able to trade. There were teams out there we were hearing, but we didn't hear about the Bears. So I believe in Trubisky as a quarterback matched up with Nagy, the head coach there, and Khalil Mack. There's no bigger move in the NFL the first month than him landing in Chicago.
The Bears are a great answer. I'm going to go to the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens. 3-1. We thought this year was the year they were going to slowly transition away from Joe Flacco. Instead, Flacco's having his best year since their Super Bowl year. Their one loss, I mean, they've really played only one bad half of football all year. It was that first half against Cincinnati when they could not cover A.J. Green. 3-1 without Jimmy Smith, arguably their best back-end defensive player, who's now coming back. The Ravens sitting at 3-1 atop the AFC North. They're tied with Cincinnati, I should say. To me, they are the biggest surprise.
And not because his brother coaches at Michigan, but John Harbaugh, man, is really underrated in the NFL. Like last year, they were thinking about getting rid of him. Underrated his leadership there in Baltimore.
All right, on the
also
other side,
the best Harbaugh, too.
On the other side of the coin,
waiting for it.
teams that have underwhelmed up to this point, with high expectations fading quickly as they land on the wrong side of 500. CC, the most disappointing team through week 4 is blank.
Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Super Bowl aspirations. Really, they have the type of talent. They have the type of organizational support, but no one's been more disappointing. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they get it.
The Steelers are the team I was leaning towards because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. And they right now don't look like a playoff team. But I'm going to go with the team that I think right now has to be the most disappointed in themselves, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons, week 1, first and goal, down, less than a touchdown. They take a loss. Week 2, they have an opportunity to win in regulation, and then they never touch the ball in overtime. They have a loss. And week 4, up less than a touchdown with 15 seconds left, and they take a loss. They are 2 plays and a coin flip away from potentially being 4-0. Instead, they're sitting there at 1-3 with the offense humming.
But at least they have 2/3 of the team figured out. Their special teams and their offense is playing great. The reason why they haven't won is because of injuries. That's not something Dan Quinn. Pittsburgh, what's their excuse?
Oh, I totally don't blame the Falcons for the spot they're in. I agree with you there. You said Dan Quinn was talking about how injured they were before the game you called.
Yes.
And in the game you called, they lost another back-end defender, Ricardo Allen, to the season. It's just, despite those injuries, they've been so close to overcoming it. Now they're sitting at 1-3. That's a hard hole to climb out of in the NFC.
All right, we're going to end with the Le'Veon Bell saga with his continued holdout. The Steelers are reportedly actively shopping the star running back, looking to get at least a second-round pick and a player in return. So, Nick, Le'Veon Bell's team at the end of the season will be blank.
If they are going to trade him, I think the Colts are the team that have the need, and the ammunition. Remember, the Colts added all those extra second-round picks when they traded back in the draft with the Jets. So the Jets are a team that might want him, but the Jets don't have second-round pick. The Colts have extra second-round picks. Andrew Luck's never had a quality running back with him. He had to throw the ball 62 times this weekend. So the Colts have the cap space to sign him long-term after the year, the draft picks, and the need. If he moves on from Pittsburgh, if they move on from him, I think Indy makes sense.
Last year, the general manager was executive of the year, Howie Roseman, Philadelphia. He made a trade. Jay Ajayi traded him. Also, I'll trade Jay Ajayi cross state. Send him a bus ticket. Send him to Pittsburgh, get Le'Veon Bell, and potentially try to sign him. But I don't have to. I don't have to sign him. I would still trade the second-round pick because I'm going to lose probably Jay Ajayi anyway. But I would take that chance of putting him inside that locker room long-term Eagles trade.
That would be a blockbuster.
Wow.
Cross state.
All right, got to take a break. How much trouble are the Steelers in after losing to the Ravens? That's next. This is First Things First.